Hello, everybody. This is Patrick with TTFR, and I'm doing my weekly earnings report. And this has been a good month, and definitely a good week. You should take that with a grain of salt because it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen in anybody else's market. I'm in Austin, Texas, and this has been a big month, and it's going to be a big month probably every year here. We had the MotoGP national race here, and we also had the Formula One race just this last weekend. So definitely shaped up just like it looked like it would, and I think there was probably a rental car shortage like we saw in the middle of the summer, and that resulted in quite a month for me. Definitely my best month by quite a bit. Went over $30,000 for total revenue. Profit showing a 13.4 there. Take that with a grain of salt as well, because for me that includes also everything that's booked in the future too. So there will be some expenses such as loan payments and insurance that will still come out of that. So it's probably closer to 12,000 somewhere in there, but we were just at 10,000, and so this has been a good month. There hasn't been much maintenance required, especially any unexpected maintenance this month. And had record bookings on 2 cars for the month. And this was a month that I did open my bookings all the way up to 1-day trips, and that's not normal. And I will actually probably switch that back in November just to see some of the difference. It's tough that when you only have a year and a half data to work with to know whether that's something that's significant information, because any given month is going to be different based on the holidays, especially for travelers, whether it be a busy month or not a busy month. But anyway, if you can see the income per month, we had the 1 month for my Audi Q7 that had no revenue whatsoever. So I think I had some maintenance that was done, so I lost over $1,000 that month. But this month, my gross revenues got close to within a stone's throw of 5,000, which was a solid 700 more than it's ever been. And profit, like I said, was high because there hasn't been a lot of expenses this month. Kind of got my Turoing down to a certain extent, and have my maintenance regularly done, and haven't had any tire issues, which was a lot of my expenses over the first half of the year were tire issues. I did deal with one tire issue with my 230i where I had to replace the 2 front ones, but that's about it. And I think I actually did pay that in this month as far as the installation. I bought the tires previous month. But as far as some of the things I want to talk about is some of the changes I'm making to the spreadsheet. So if there are people that are reviewing this that already have this spreadsheet or are considering purchasing it, you'll see the link for those that haven't purchased it in the notes for the video. But I'm going to add I've already added monthly miles to this, monthly trips. Be adding unrealized gains for those people that have loans on their vehicles, and that will basically encapsulate your principal that you're putting into the car. And I've got ad delivery income versus expense here, and that's actually going to be part of how I rebuild this sheet for 2022, where I'm going to separate out profit and loss into one tab, and then separate a kind of a business intelligence or a business analysis page that will basically look at changes and graphs for, say you've made a change and you want to track if you've gotten more trips month to month, or if you have the car going out for more miles per trip, things like that. So I'm going to separate that out, make that a little easier to look at, and add another tab. It's like right now I have a lot of this in all in the profit and loss sheet, and I will change some things. You can see I added unrealized gains over here. That will probably stay on the profit and loss sheet. But average miles by car, days out by car, I will add a trips per month in there, so you can, if you've made a change like I made, increasing my mileage allowed, you can see if the miles have gone up, if you've increased the amount of trips you're getting, and things like that. And just to show you how the utilization went for this month, when I opened things up, I think around the first week or so, or second week of October to one-day trips, I pretty much booked up. And the last 2 weeks and on the convertible, we're booked solid all the way through the end of the month. I'm booked. I have 2 days available for the 230i, 2-door sedan, and only 1 day open left for the Q7 7-passenger SUV. So that has resulted in 24 days out this month for the convertible, 21 for the 230i, which surprisingly usually leads the way, is the least rented this month. So the Z4 and the Q7 both broke records this month, 4 days out. And the averages for those two are only 15 and 14. They usually only go out half the month. But opening up to the one-day trips looks like it's helped. And then, of course, those are two vehicles that people that come to see races may tend to rent. So I may not see that every month, but it was nice to see it this month, and kind of going all out. And I usually average 18 days a month on the 230i, and that went out 21 days. So that was within 2 days of its record. It's gone out 23 days in one previous month, I think it was June. But all in all, really good month. Profits really high. Just to show you what things will look like, where I've added monthly miles over here. So I got a lot of miles this month, so there's going to be some depreciation, I imagine. But so far, I've been checking it, and depreciation on the Z4 actually went down. So it's actually worth more than it was last month right now. We'll see once we add all the miles up at the end of the month. I've got, I think, 2 more trips left. One of them's a 4-day, so it may end up losing. It lost about 1,000 in value last month, so they may have maybe overstated the depreciation the previous month. And looks like the 230 has not been on out as much. It does have it's about to finish a 5-day trip, and then it starts another 3-day trip, and it's at under 1,500 miles. One of the things that I've added recently was the average miles per trip, average miles per day. And you see, even though I've raised, and Turo worried a lot of people when they bumped everything up to 200 miles, and I then bumped mine further to see if I could grab some trips when that I wouldn't normally get when we seemed to slow down a little bit around August, and it hasn't really seemed to result in an increase of people actually putting miles on the vehicles. I think I'm at this will change through the next 2 trips when I add more miles. But it's definitely, I think all my vehicles look like they're sitting under 100 miles per day on average. And I guess I neglected to mention, this is the big month for the convertible. Out 24 days and 11 trips. That was a lot of trips for the convertible. The Q7 is up over 2,000 miles as well. So, if you're putting in 2,000 miles per month, if you're going all out as I went this month, and if you had the kind of month like this, you're looking at 24,000 miles on the car per year, which all of my cars are just at or under 60,000 miles, so that looks good to me. I've got probably another 2 years, even if I have super busy business, which would keep them still under 100,000 miles, which will result in them still being relatively sellable assets. So profit after depreciation this month for the Q7 was $1,300 so far. and that's definitely its best month, and then for 230, 1100. I did have some maintenance on that car. I had $80 tire install, and then the star of the month has definitely been the convertible, which with $1,500 so far, profit after depreciation calculated in. The unrealized gains, that's what I'm adding to the the loans and principal. So it looks like 2,000 after the unrealized gains. So doing real well for 3 cars. And this would maybe like if I was really doing this full time, which I'm really not trying to do. I'd like to keep the cars around and be as efficient as possible, make as much money as I can while still renting the cars somewhere around 15 days a month. So I get to drive them as well, which is part of my goal. Each person in Turo has a different goal. And that's one of my goals, is to actually have these cars that I actually enjoy driving and make money at it. And each month, it seems like I'm getting a little better at that. And some of that I think is by tracking what I'm doing real well and where all the money's going. So this has been a good month, but once again, I say for everybody else, depending on your market, you may not have these kind of results. And unless you have a big vacation and big events in your market as well. But that's this earnings report for this week. Have a good week. Bye.